Thank you, Bill, for taking a few minutes before your event tonight here at the New School. Your talk tonight focuses on the role of nonviolence in an increasingly fractured world. Can you elaborate here on this topic?
I wanted to talk about nonviolence because it was the subject of one of Jonathan Schell's last books. This is the first lecture in his honor. And he insisted that the development of nonviolence in the 20th century was an extraordinary achievement, something with which I agree. I think it may have been the great technology to emerge from the 20th century. This idea that through a kind of almost magical influence, people are able to sometimes change hearts, minds, and actions, not by force, but through a more passive resistance. We hope that it will be useful as we take on the great crises of our time, climate change first and foremost among them. And in the last few years, I think we've begun to demonstrate that that may be the case in at least some of the time, in fights against big pipelines or so on. There's nothing automatic about it, but it's a technique and an idea that we need badly to explore as this century goes on. We need a West Point of nonviolence. We need places where people can take these ideas seriously and figure out how to make them really blossom in a very difficult world.
Here at the New School, we believe students are uniquely positioned to be agents of change. What advice can you give specifically to students who are looking to make a difference in our country and our world?
So young people are at the forefront of the climate movement, and they should never underestimate their power. We started 350.org 8 years ago with myself and 7 college students. And the 8 of us, in the course of those 8 years, it's grown into the first big global grassroots climate campaign. We're active in 180 some countries. We've helped organize the biggest rallies and civil disobedience actions in recent American history. That's all the power of young people. Taking stock of that power, refusing to undersell oneself, understanding that it requires not just passion but shrewdness in order to make a difference. Those are things that all smart young people are capable of.
What kind of impact do you think the 2016 election will have on people and organizations as they look to have their voices heard?
We don't know yet what impact the most recent election will have on people's ability to do this kind of work. It will probably make it more difficult and also more necessary. We're entering what may be a kind of dark and perhaps violent time, and in that case, the power of organization, of solidarity, of nonviolence will be all the more important, if all the more difficult. I find a great deal of hope in the rapid spread of movements around the world. They've grown at a remarkable pace. They haven't grown fast enough yet to allow us to begin to overtake the rate at which the planet is deteriorating, and that's a grave problem. Climate change is a moving target. It gets worse over time, and it's getting worse at the moment. And so there are days when I am pessimistic. The days when I'm optimistic are the days when I reflect just how many good people have come together very, very quickly.
Thank you.
Thank you.